my hands sure are cold. If only I had a great finger exercise I could do to warm them up, while also working a bunch of different picking techniques and sounding slightly irritating, like a rejected King Crimson riff. Oh wait. On today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to play that Bad Larry and tell you the best ways to practice it for maximum impact. Well, hey there kids, it's your good buddy, Uncle Ben. You know, one of my least favorite things about the frigid winter months is the way that my hands freeze up after I've been outside walking the dogs around the block or something. It makes it really hard to get back inside, pick up that guitar, and start shredding. That's why I came up with today's exercise to get those mitts a-moving and get your fingers a-wiggling all over that fretboard, get some blood going to them, get that pick hand working out, and so much more. This is a really great exercise, and you know it's a really good one because it's guaranteed to make your stepmom say, "What the f*** is that? Why don't you play some actual music every now and then? Make something of yourself." If you want to get the most out of this exercise, I recommend grabbing the guitar profiles, downloadable tabs, and practice tracks over on my Patreon page, patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. It's the greatest place on the doggone internet, guaranteed. Sign up today, even for just $1 a month. You're going to get all that stuff, plus a whole bunch of bonus goodies like extra videos, bonus lessons, so much more. It's waiting for you guys over there, so don't delay, sign up today. Patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. Gear-wise, for today's video, I'm going to be playing the newest addition to my little flock O guitars. This is a 2021 Ibanez RG565R, part of the Genesis collection. This thing is awesome, and my wife got it for me for Christmas because I'm such a doggone good boy, and because she's such a good girl. And I'm playing that through this awesome Marshall JCM 800, which has the legendary Tones Mr. Scary Hot Mod thing in the back. It's awesome. Gives you a little bit more gain, a little bit more compression, everything that you need, nothing that you don't. I've got that running into the UA aux. Let's get into it. Yeah, let me play this thing at stepdad speed so you can see it a little bit more better. Check it out as I wiggle my hand fingers across these ropes. Yeah, it sounds like Robert Fripp taking a shit, right? Okay, so here's the deal with this exercise. It takes place 3 fingers at a time, 3 strings at a time. So as we go through this, be thinking about which finger set and which string set that you're using. And we're going to be starting off here on the E, A, and D strings using our first 3 fingers. And here's how you want to think about this. Think about it as being fingers 1, 2, and 3 on adjacent strings. So 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to do 1, 2, 3 again, but just invert the shape. Do you see that move? So now I'm going 1, 2, 3. So far you should have 1, 2, 3, then an inside out, 1, 2, 3. After this, we're going to stay on those same strings, but switch to these 3 fingers, so fingers 2, 3, and 4. And here, we're going to sequence it like this, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so start off here with your 4th finger. third, second, and then the same idea but inside out. 4, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2. Then you got to move this entire idea to the next string set, A, D, and G. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2. Move now to D, G, and B. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2. And then lastly, your top 3 strings here with the same idea. Yeah, I'll tell you guys, playing that thing is kind of like watching your feet while you're going down the steps, where the more closely you look at what you're doing, the more likelier you are to fall down. So yeah, just take it slow, take it easy with that thing, keep those fingerings in mind. You should be just fine. Okay, so we made our way to the top of the exercise. And then what we're going to do is to reverse all this stuff and descend down the strings. Now the way that we're going to do this is just to invert everything that we just did. We're going to play 4, 3, 2. 4, 3, 2, inside out. And then what you're going to do is to go to 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that was 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then reverse that, so it's 1, 2, 3. Next string set here, we're going to start off on the B string and play 4, 3, 2. 4, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Start from the G. And then lastly, start from the D. All together it should sound like this. After that, if your mitts still need a little bit more work to get that blow to move in, just go up a fret position. And repeat everything there. You can take that all the way up and down the neck. Wherever seems to be your problem areas is going to be a good place to work that thing out. I'm going to give you guys a couple more tips now about both hands and what to do with them. Because there's a couple different ways we could approach this picking wise, okay? So throughout most of this video here, I've been kind of cross-picking my way through it, which is alternate picking, but only playing one note per string. So it's like down, up, down, up, down, up, the entire way through. That right there is just foreplay for John Petrucci. Now, to make that cross-picking motion happen, you got to make these little twists of the wrist like this as you go in and out of the strings. It doesn't have to be much, just enough to get you to clear the tops of the strings and get over or under the next string, depending on what your next pick stroke is. Some people might find the cross-picking mechanic to be kind of wasteful from an economy of motion standpoint, and that's because it is. We'll talk about sweeping here in a second. Yeah, it's not really the most efficient path of motion to get through the strings, but there are some benefits, namely in the groove. Whenever you're doing this, do-da-da-da-da-da, you're constantly in motion with this alternation of downstroke and upstroke, and that just naturally grooves, I'm going to say better, I'm not even going to say differently, it just grooves better than dragging the pick through the strings, maybe making a few alterations as you go. Staying in motion like this, staying in time, just keeps rhythm better. Ask any bluegrass player about it. This is why bluegrass guys are incredible at the cross-picking thing. It's because it's kind of the only way to stay in the groove whenever you're playing straight 16s and arpeggiating chords at like 220 BPM all hopped up on moonshine or something. It's kind of the only way to do it. So you get the groove factor whenever you're playing with the cross-picking thing, and I just like how it sounds and how it feels. Watch my right hand again as I play my way through a couple bars of that exercise. Down, up, repeat, the Occam's razor of picking formulas. Now, that's a great way to practice that, but if you want to take this same exercise and use it to work on getting your sweep picking or economy picking up to snuff, you can do that too by playing all these groupings as down, 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 up, up, up. It's as easy as that. Check it out. Down, 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 up, up, up. Down, 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 up, up, up. And then for the descending part, you're going to be doing up, 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 down, down, down. Just remember to stay nice and smooth and keep in the groove. A lot of us, whenever we sweep pick stuff, our groove tends to kind of vanish and we go... Yeah, there's no groove in that at all. You got to make sure this is really staying inside the line. So practice this with the metronome, the guitar profiles, or the practice tracks that you're going to find over on that Patreon page. It's going to keep you in time much more better for sure. You can see right there as I sweep through these, I've got a little angling of the pick going on. Sometimes I use the term paintbrushing the pick to describe how this feels, because I think about the way that a paintbrush is being held as you glide it up and down the wall. If you're going down the wall like this, you don't hold the paintbrush like that, right? You'll ruffle the bristles. You got to go in the direction of whichever way the paint is laying down. So keep that in mind as you sweep through these. It's okay to paintbrush a little bit. It doesn't take a lot. You don't have to make a huge motion or anything here. Just enough to break that picking angle a little bit to make it more smoothlier to go up and down the strings. Now, as for the fretting hand here, there's a couple things I want you guys to keep in mind, because the great thing about this exercise is it can help you tame the old flying fingers thing. If you're one of those players who, has the fingers that go a mile away from the fretboard whenever they're not in use, this can really help because your fingers are kind of all over this thing. One thing I want you guys to keep in mind is a concept I call spanning, okay? Spanning means having a little bit of space in between the fingers at all time. I noticed that most of my students over the years, whenever they have the flying fingers thing, they usually have their fingers all bunched together like this, and they tend to act as one. It tends to act like a big flipper or a mitten whenever that's going on. So whenever one finger leaves, like your little finger tends to, everybody comes with them, and it ends up being this really sloppy, really imprecise fretting technique. Now, if you just think about having a little bit of space, and to give you a visual, think about those little foam blocks that people put in between their toes whenever they paint their toenails, Just imagine you have that going on. A little bit of space in between the fingers. Watch right here how none of these fingers are ever going to touch each other, okay? See how I'm spanning right there? There's just a little space, a little room for the Holy Ghost in between every finger, as we said at my homeschool prom many years ago. Another thing I want you guys to be conscious of is the first finger, because the first set here obviously uses the first finger. The next set doesn't. But that doesn't mean that it's time for this guy to fuck off and leave the playing field, right? You'll notice that as I'm playing the 4-3-2 set, you see how my first finger is over here muting? That's a little concept that me and Ed Gein call the skin capo. I'm keeping my finger just lightly across the strings. I'm not barring. I'm not saying to bar them. Just lightly touching those strings to keep them muted out, the same way that it would if you stole one of your stepmom's scrunchies out of her boudoir and wrapped it here across the neck of the guitar. You don't have to do that. You can stay in your stepmom's good graces and still have good muting technique if you master this skin capo idea. So watch again from that angle and you'll see my first finger will be doing dampening as it's playing its sets. But then when it's time to do the 4-3-2 sets, he doesn't leave, he just softly mutes the strings. This helps hide any open string noise that you might get as your fingers are releasing off of the strings. This is a really, really important technique to get down. So be sure as you practice this to keep all those strings muted out using the skin capo technique. Trademark Ed Gein and your good buddy Uncle Ben. So there you go, guys, a great little digit burner to get those hand fingers wiggling around more or better, whether you're about to step on the stage, step into the recording studio, or maybe you're just stepping out of the shower and you're ready to shred. That thing will get you ready to rip. Be sure to grab the practice tracks, the guitar profiles, the tabs, and access to hundreds of bonus goodies over on that Patreon page, patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. I'll see you guys over there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications every time I upload a new slice of fried gold right here for you guys. And be sure to tune in next week for some more hot stuff. Now, as for now, I recommend getting away from the computer machine, grabbing that guitar, and getting ripping. Let's click it. More picking.